motion to approve the district clerk pro temp?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None opposed.
Wait, are you writing down who's, because we don't have a district clerk?
Yes.
Oh,
That's me.
okay,
Mr. White.
okay.
Okay.
So who motioned, who seconded?
Alyssa motioned, I second.
And
All-
ayes,
all
Mary's not
ayes.
here.
I'd like to make a motion to adjust the agenda to move public comment to before the item on the agenda as opposed to after.
There is no public comment in a special meeting usually, Dan.
There's public
I know,
comment.
it was a mistake and we corrected it.
Well, I make a motion to have public comment before.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so moved. So we will continue with public comment. May I have a motion then to move the public comment? Dan,
I think we did it all at
Okay,
once,
all
but
at
yeah.
once. Okay, so in that case, then we will open for public comment. We're now at the part of the agenda where we open up the meeting to comments from our community members. The Board of Education encourages public participation on the school-related matters at board meetings. Yes, please. And we don't need your address, just your name.
Okay. Hi, my name is Chris Scanlon. I'm speaking as a concerned Tuxedo citizen and taxpayer, and not as a board member-elect. I have a few concerns about the consultant hire on the agenda. Considering the board just abolished the position previously held by Brendan Irond Wednesday night, I find it very difficult to believe that the administration was able to source a facilities consultant within one day. Was an RFP sent out to several consultant agencies, and what was the vetting process? How many other candidates were considered for the role, and how was the process completed in one day? In my experience, the process to hire consultants takes much longer than one day to send out RFPs and vet multiple candidates. Does the superintendent have any previous working experience with the candidate at previous positions? What are the candidate's qualifications for the role, as there is no resume on the agenda and that the candidate is actually even qualified for the role? As it's not clear from the contract that the expected number of days and or hours per week, I'd like to review a worst-case hypothetical scenario. At $400 per day in a 5-day work week, and considering a potential 50-week work year, the consultant would cost $100,000. And I don't feel this is a good use of the taxpayers' money and would be an increase of over $70,000, including Brendan's salary the next 2 months. How will this $70,000 shortfall in the budget be paid for? Will the administration cap the consultant time to just 90 days so that there's not impact to the current budget? And what is the cost of the daily operation of the school? I ask the current board and administration, have you conducted the proper due diligence before voting on approving this consultant and potentially increasing the cost to the taxpayers of the Tuxedo community?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bonnie Takeuchi. You don't want, 3 Schoolhouse Lane. Last December, I attended the final town board meeting of the past administration. 2 incumbents had chosen not to rerun, and 2 had just lost their bids for office. At the end of the agenda, a proposition was brought up that, if approved, would require the new town board, which was being sworn in just a few days, to commit funds to this project. In a rare but refreshing decision, the majority of the members of the current board, that present board, decided that it would not be fair for them to do that. they voted to table that decision and give the incoming trustees time to do their due diligence when deciding how to spend taxpayer funds. Ultimately, the new town supervisor and the rest of the board voted to proceed with the project, but they were grateful that they had the time to familiarize themselves with the details and to ask questions before proceeding. While I did not agree with all of the contracts that were agreed to at the last board meeting just 2 days ago, at least they were consultants that we had previously employed. A new position created in just 2 days is highly unusual. The incoming board should be given the same courtesy that the town board was given in their recent transition. Transparency is always the goal.
Thank you. Mr. White, did you?
I don't think there's comments. Are
Great.
you
Nope.
allowed to
No.
comment?
That's correct. Okay, so with that, we're going to move next to the consent agenda for new business. May I have a resolution to approve item 2.1? Be it resolved that the board hereby authorizes its president to sign a consultant agreement with Mr. Gene Lawson to provide facilities consultant services pursuant to a contract dated June 26, 2024, as presented to the board at this meeting. A copy of said agreement shall be incorporated by reference within the minutes of this meeting.
So you need a
May I
motion.
have motion to approve?
Motion.
All in favor?
Discussion?
Mhm.
Thank you. I looked at the contract. I looked to see if there was a resume attached to the contract. There wasn't. I tried to take a quick look at this person on LinkedIn. He didn't have a profile that I could find. And while I appreciate that the superintendent may have had a working relationship with this individual in the past, I think for our due diligence, we need more than just the say-so of the superintendent that he worked with him in the past before we approve a contract on the, 2 days before a new board comes in and we commit funds. I'm going to vote no against this, and based on what Ms. Takeuchi just shared and what Mr. Scanlon just shared, I urge the rest of the board to give the new board the opportunity to look into an individual that we are going to give full access to all of our buildings all summer before we go ahead and hire him on the say-so of one person.
Thank you, Dan. Is there any additional discussion?
Hey, it's Bill. I will say one thing. I would not be in favor of this if the 30-day termination wasn't in there. So in the end, I think this is about making sure the facilities are ready to accept students in September, which is important. As we all know, there's a lot of work that's needed to be done, and some of that can only be done in the summer, so we don't want to lose 30 days or whatever. And I'm comforted by the fact that the new board, with 30 days notice, can go in another direction. So I don't think we're saddling the taxpayer with any long-term expense here. The new board is, frankly, in control of their destiny and will be responsible for the budgets. And I don't think this is a long-term commitment in that regard. So I'm fully comfortable with where we're going, considering the needs with the facilities over the next 60 days.
As I had mentioned previously, I've worked with this gentleman for a number of years. He has worked successfully at the Monroe Woodbury School District as the Assistant Director of Buildings and Grounds. He was at Monroe Woodbury from 1997 to 2014. Prior to that, he was the Assistant Director of Buildings and Grounds at Columbia University, and he also worked at NYU as well in the facilities department. So he has quite an extensive background, been very successful, and was highly successful at Monroe Woodbury for all those years. So I feel very comfortable bringing Gene in here to give us a hand.
When does summer school start?
Oh, sorry, Kimberly.
I'm sorry. When does summer school start?
We are still working out some of the logistics on that.
And when does camp start? Is camp going to be using our school?
Yes.
And when does that start?
I don't remember the date. I will check on that.
Week after July 4th.
So it's the 8th, I think. Yeah, Monday the 8th. That makes sense.
And when is the next board meeting?
July 10th.
Okay.
So yeah, part of the reason is that we want to get started right away. We don't want to lose any more time.
Okay, I think there was another question on the call or comment.
I wasn't sure. Did somebody say something on the Zoom?
Yeah, I just said our next board meeting scheduled for the 10th,
Yes.
and we're looking at maybe during a holiday weekend, long holidays. So really, there's not gonna be an awful lot of work that's gonna be done in-house until then anyway.
I hope that's not true.
Possibility of maybe tabling this until the incoming board comes?
I hope we're going to get a lot of work done that week.
Is that a motion to table?
I thought we had to vote on your motion first, Dan, or, the motion that was already on the floor first.
Right, the proper rules of order now is if you're making a motion to table, you would make it, then one of us would second, and then we would vote on whether the motion to table, right? If
But
the
we
motion
already
is-
have a motion on the table to vote on this.
Right, but the motion to table would supersede that. I don't think it's going to pass, Will, but if you want to make it, make it.
Yes, if that is the proper procedure, that's Robert's rules, then yes, I'd like to make the motion to table this until the July 10th meeting, and we can definitely postpone. Because there's gonna need to be explanations as how we got to this point and going forward. That doesn't mean that I'm looking to get rid of this consultant. I'm sure he's more than qualified, and he'll probably hit the ground running. So hopefully, we have a lot of work already on the honeydew list here. So, I don't think we're really gonna be losing too much by, by extending this courtesy of maybe, 2 working weeks. So, that being said, I'd like to make the motion that we table this until the, July 10th meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor of the motion to table item 2.1 to the July 10th meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. To tabling?
I'm opposed.
Yeah, I'm opposed.
And just commentary around that, 2 weeks is 25% of the summer.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so with that, may I have a motion for item 2.1?
Motion.
You have that. You're calling for the vote now.
Okay,
Who was second?
we already did the motion before. I didn't know that if I had to do a motion again, since we then had a motion that was denied to table it till the
No,
next
you
meeting.
don't. You just call for the vote.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor of item 2.1?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. And may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.